The Independence for Guam Task Force held its second public forum last week to discuss how the world views Guam's relationship with the United States and also what nation motto Guam could follow if she would become an independent nation. Here's more. Born from the most pressing questions from the task force's first public forum, the question, how should Guam handle recent threats from North Korea, was discussed at length at the second public forum held at Chamorro Village. Independence for Guam Task Force co-chair Victoria Leon Guerrero opened with a parody to the famous Guam slogan, Guam, where America's day begins. Instead, the slide read, Guam, where America's war begins.
So people think Guam and they see U.S. military base. They don't think Guam and see an independent and thriving nation that protects the air, the land, the sea, the water, the people, the language and culture of this land, right? They see a base. They see things like the B-1, B-2, and B-52 bombers that were all flying. They see things like Valiant Shield. So how many of you have heard the really loud and aggressive bomber sounds the whole past 2 weeks outside your house?
Leon Guerrero goes on to say that the military games and testing is seen as a threat to Guam's neighbors, such as China and North Korea.
So we regularly hear that China or North Korea wants to attack Guam, and that's why we need the U.S. military. That's typically the rhetoric that we have in our media, right? Or when we learn about bombers that are flying over Guam or Valiant Shield as we experience it today, we're told that this is happening to protect us, right? But actually, elsewhere in the world, they don't see it as protecting us, they see it as a threat to them. So
the forum took place at a time when regional tensions between the U.S., North Korea, and China are flaring up. Just last week, in response to 2 B-1B bombers landing in South Korea, North Korea again threatened to attack Guam. Leon Guerrero says the island is caught in the middle. But audience members also asked if there was a model that Guam could use if she did indeed become an independent nation. Task Force members pointed to Singapore for this presentation, which is roughly the same size as Guam, and as an independent nation, shares some qualities that Guam has today.
Singapore was really considered this really dark corner of the world in Asia, and especially because all of its neighboring countries were these really large and growing economies around it. It just didn't have, it didn't seem like it was on the path to success. And literally, I mean, people have said they've been known to literally have gone from swamps to skyscrapers.
Helping to quell fear of life without the protection of the U.S. military, task force members say Guam could also emulate Singapore's defense strategy. After the presidential elections, which got rid of Singapore's authoritarian government, they decided to use the strategy of deterrence and diplomacy. And although Singapore spends roughly $10 billion on its military and defense, Juan Pat Borja argues that Singapore is known for a different story.
Their story isn't a story of being, a growing military regime, and and just the same can be said. I mean, Guam's story to the rest of the world is we really are the tip of the spear, and that's what everyone knows us to be. So it's really my point here in making this is that we have an opportunity to rewrite our story and to use nations like Singapore and other nations as merely examples and models.
For more on the first and second forum, be sure to visit our website at pacificnewscenter.com.